$1 game since the famous Dempsey Tunney long count battle in Chicago 8 years before. Everyone's stunned by the fury of Lewis's attack.
What's happening, my people? It's Cass Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people who just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a podcast. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. Miss Cass, hashtag JBT, Mike Mazik, Terry Akers in the building. Salute to everyone and welcome to another episode of Cass Sports, the Box Historian. Today, boxing in the States, Massachusetts. And you know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Box Historian bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it and can't get enough of it. Okay, how's everyone today? It's Thursday, late in the week again. Hooked up on another weekend. Regis and Jack Catterall this weekend. And the question on everybody's mind is Regis done? Or can he pull off a win this weekend and get back into the thick of things, coming off of his loss to Devin Haney when he lost his belts? Good matchup, I think. Good matchmaking. Regis and Jack Catterall is a very good fight. Looking forward to that. I guess the weigh-in is today. But on Cast Sports today, it's Boxing in the State series continues. We're going to talk about Massachusetts. Got some great fighters came out of Massachusetts, man. I mean, legendary fighters. Rock and from Brockton, Massachusetts. Okay. Marvin Hagler's brother, Bobby Sims, was a boxer too. You know, he didn't have anywhere near the success that Marvin had, but yeah, his brother, Bobby Sims, was a boxer. Ray Oliveira, John Ruiz, Sam Langford. Yeah, we're going to talk about all these people today. Gail Grandchild, one of the pioneers of women's boxing from Massachusetts. And we're going to touch on a couple of cities that had big boxing histories up there in Massachusetts. Of course, Boston, and then Lowell, Massachusetts. Had a pretty good boxing history. The Harvard Boxing Club. Yeah. And I got like about 25 boxers from Boston, from Massachusetts today. When we get to that segment, that should be pretty good. But how was everybody today? You know, that's why I always wait for 2:30, get more people in here. That fantasy matchups show this week is turning out to be a pretty popular show. Over 1,000 views and still rolling along right now. Yeah, approaching 1,100. My record is got 2,000 something on the show where I did the best boxers had never won a title. But yeah, people seem to like that Fantasy Matchups Monday series. That was an idea from Thomas Hill and turned out to be a great idea. Yeah. But yeah, boxing is rolling along steadily, giving us big fights. 2024 has passed 2023. And tomorrow, we're going to close up the week tomorrow with the profile as usual. This week, it's the life and career of Felix Tito Trinidad. Yep. One of the top Puerto Rican boxers of all time. We're going to look at Felix's life and career tomorrow. Don't miss that one. And then, of course, the fantasy matchup Monday. Start the week. This week is going to be the Big Bear. Next week, the Big Bear, Sonny Liston versus the Legends. Okay? How would Sonny have fared against the two Jacks, Jack Johnson and Jack Dempsey? Those will be very interesting. We're going to find out next week, Monday, on Fantasy Matchups Monday. Hopefully I can get that drop on there that Big Dre gave me. Yeah. But Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., the Box Story is bringing you all that boxing history. We're growing. Rome wasn't built in a day, but it's built, and we're going to build this thing together, one brick at a time. Part of that Fire JBT network. We had started out in the morning, 6:30 this morning with Crush the Legend. Coffee and the donuts. Very good early morning show. And then we go to J Hardcore in the Hangout. And then Cast Sports, the Box Story at 2. Just Do Boxing at 4. BVO Boxing TV at 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday. And then we close up the day with the Rise Podcast at 9 p.m. Might see Javante Tank Davis' coaches in there chopping up with the chat on any given day on the Rise Podcast. Might see the face of boxing himself in there one day. Who knows? That's how we do it in the JBT. We got a fashion show too. Let's talk fashion. Wednesdays and Fridays now at 10 a.m. Yep. We got Ed McQueen and the Casuals Corner breakdown. Him and Thomas Hill breaking it down like none other. How about the Angry White Men? Fridays at 10 p.m. D1 and William Old School of Rant. Fire podcast. They came right out of the gate on fire. They haven't slowed down yet. But right now, it's Cat Sports the Box Story. We're going to get started in about 10 more minutes. Give a few more people time to get in here and join us. They're coming. Mr. Olani Lee, the hours changed at work, so can't be here with us right now, but he'll be back. Bruce Gas, boxing, jazz, and more in the building. Salute, Bruce Gas. Good to see you today. Boxing in the States, Massachusetts today. Home of Rocky Marciano and Marvin Hagler. Brockton, Massachusetts, yeah. Isn't that something? Two legends from Brockton. Now, Marvin was born in New Jersey, but his boxing career played out by that time. He was living in Brockton. He moved to Italy after he retired, but I believe he did come back to Massachusetts before his death. I think, yeah, but Marvin, his boxing career played out. Oh shoot, I don't know why I put that in there. Wow, I was typing in the wrong chat, on the wrong phone. That was supposed to go on the other phone. I typed it in there, I'm sorry. Don't pay any attention to that. That was something I'm trying to pull up. But how's everybody today? We are almost to the weekend again. What y'all got on Jack Catterall and Regis? I'm leaning toward Jack right there. Yeah. Good fighter. Knows how to win. I thought he beat Josh Taylor twice, but they didn't give it to him. But the winner will be looking good at 140. Might be in line for a title shot. Who knows? All the belts are spread out. 4 different champions at 140. We got Rayo. It's one from Pitbull, his belt, and Devin. Well, somebody told me yesterday that Devin had vacated or something. But we still got Liam Paro. Took it from Regis. Took it from Subriel Matillo in this last fight, and of course Teofimo. He didn't vacate, did he? Too much going on with Teofimo. You never know what he's doing. Man, in his mouth a lot, but calling out Tank, calling out Bud, calling out Boots, and then he fights Steve Plaggett, the number 15th contender. But when Teofimo signed to fight him, he magically ended up in the top 10. Yeah. Mike Massey got Regis. That's right. Mike said that yesterday. He's got Regis. The good thing about it, we're right up on it. I guess what the final press conference should be today, and then the weigh-in tomorrow, and we fight Saturday. Yeah. So we will see. And the schedule looking good. I know. When is that Tank and Lamont Roach? Is it November? Like he was gonna fight Loma in November. No, it's coming up. And I haven't heard anything on the rematch between the big light heavyweight fight we just had a couple weeks ago. But there was talk of stripping Beterbiev. So I don't know if it'll be for Undisputed. I know the big heavyweight showdown won't be for Undisputed this time because they stripped Usyk. So that'll be for 3 belts. Triple D has the 4th belt, has the other belt now. Yeah. But I got Fury this time. I don't think he'll go in there playing around. He started off pretty good last time. Then he wanted to walk around the ring with his hands down around his waist. I don't know what he was doing. Usyk just put that pressure to the big man. And had him on the ropes in one of those rounds. Had him on the verge of stopping him. But he was undisputed for a little while. Two weight classes too. One of only 5 people. You know, the Bud, Monster, Katie Taylor, Monster, and Usyk. In the 4-belt era. Only 2 people, 5 people have done it. That's big. No time for the Monster to get back in there. Yeah, I saw his name. He was scheduled to fight somebody, but I forgot who it was. But he's coming up. Naoya NOA, bad man. I want to get somebody over there in Japan. Let me see. Is this right? Man, I can't find what I'm looking for now. Excuse me for 1 minute. I got to put this window up. Open this window. It's burning up in here. This weather is beautiful. It's beautiful up here in Baltimore, Maryland. Like we're going back to summertime here. I ain't mad. I'm not complaining because Hawk will be here soon enough. Okay, I know what to do. But how's everybody today? We get ready to get started on Massachusetts. Give me for 1 minute. I'm gonna open this window up. Take me 1 second. I just closed it. It got a little cool. There we go. It's open. Don't miss tomorrow. The life and career of Felix Tito Trinidad. That should be good. Felix, one of the best Puerto Rican fighters in the top 5. Yeah. Of the Puerto Rican fighters. Tito. In the International Boxing Hall of Fame. I would say the top 5 Puerto Ricans are Carlos Ortiz, Hector Camacho, Tito, Eric Morales. Edwin Rosario. Got a little mixed up there. Yeah. And it's one more, but I can't think of him right now. But yeah, Tito tomorrow. I need shows for the Wednesdays too. Had a pretty good one yesterday. We talked about Southpaws. At the top 25 Southpaws of all time. Had Marvin Hagler number 1. Yep. Marvelous Marvin. Gotta say Marvelous Marvin Hagler because that is officially his name. That's not just a nickname. He changed his name to Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Yes, he did. Because for some reason, sometimes a lot of the commentators wouldn't call him that. So Marvin changed his name to that. You're gonna call me Marvelous. And he was marvelous. Yep. Lost that fight to Sugar Ray and never fought again. I thought he won it, but it was a good fight. Still debated to this day. Sugar Ray was stealing rounds at the end. He said he told Angelo Dundee to yell to him when it got down to 30 seconds in each round, and that's when he really would come on every round. And it worked. Okay, I think that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's it. Where is everybody today? We're getting ready to get started in about 3 minutes. Man, everything works so good when you're preparing, but then when it's time to do it, that's when things go south. Let me take my time. And then we're going to get started. Wonder if Cut Creator, the winner of the Air Friday, should have his I haven't talked to Jay Hardcore Melanin Queen, but he should have his Air Friday by now. And then we can the raffle will be it's not over until everybody gets their prizes. So Michael Garner got both of his. Michael had 21 chances in the raffle, and he won 2 out of 3 prizes. So you got to play a lot to win. And he did. He had 7 block of 25s. You know, you got the 3 for 25. He had 7 of them. He got a block of 25 3 times and almost ran the table and took all the prizes. Yep. We're going to get started as soon as I get this up here. Been looking at it all morning. Boxing in the States, Massachusetts, today. People will be coming in very shortly. Excuse me for a minute. Concentrate there. Jack Johnson. Joe Louis fought one time in one championship fight in Massachusetts. We're going to talk about that one. And then he went back up there and had 2 exhibitions in the state too. Yeah, we're going to cover all that. Those are some of the significant events that happened in Massachusetts. Oh yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Man, what is wrong with me? Yeah. I was looking at what I was looking for the entire time. Okay, let's get ready to get started. Melanin Queen 27 in the building. What's up, Melanin Queen? How are you today? I had exactly what I wanted the entire time. Little Melanin Queen 27. How are you today? How's your day going? Right back on the weekend again. The big fight of this weekend is Regis and Jack Catterall. Every time I say Regis, I'm ready to say Regis and Kathy Lee. Remember that show? Yeah, Regis versus Jack Catterall. 2:31. Let's get ready to go. Let's go with today's show. Okay, we're gonna talk about. We're gonna cover a couple cities that had a big history up there, like Brockton, Boston, Lowell, Massachusetts, Lowell, Lowell. We're gonna start with Boston. Take a look at boxing history in Boston. Okay, Boston, Massachusetts. Now, okay. And look back at Boston boxing history from John L. Sullivan to Jack Johnson and more. There's John L. Sullivan right there. John L. Sullivan was the last bare knuckles champion before they outlawed that. And then he was the first glove champion, when they started fighting with gloves. Yep. John L. was. Mike Grimm in the building. What's up, Mike? Told you my people are coming. Mike is right on time. Right on T. Salute, Mike. Okay. Now look back at Boston boxing history from John L. Sullivan to Jack Johnson and more. Now, many may not know that Boston is a city that has had a long and rich history with the sweet sides. Okay. Now, the last time Boston saw a world championship fight was May 23rd, 2006, when 2 world title fights took place at TD Bank Garden, formerly the Boston Garden. That night saw British superstar Ricky Hitman Hatton defeat Luis Collazo in a welterweight world title fight, while Eric Aiken upset previously undefeated Vladimir Pereira for a featherweight world title. Okay, now fighting in the Boston Garden was a great honor. Never mind in a world title fight, but even a 4-rounder, said Tony DeMarco, who won the welterweight world title in 1955 at the Boston Garden. Tony said, "I had more fights there than anybody in history." 28, he had 28 fights in the Garden, Tony DeMarco did, including his pro debut. And he said, "It's always good fighting at home. You're more comfortable at home, and the fans know and honor you." And said Boston fans were real fight fans. Okay. Yeah, Boston got some great, they support all their teams up there, man. Celtics, the Bruins, the Red Sox. Yeah. Serious Boston, serious sports fans up there, man. Yeah. And their teams always have good management, man, because every team had the great years and then they have a few off years, but Boston is one of those organizations in Boston always bounce right back. They're not like the Washington Wizards basketball team. They've been sorry for decades. That's the management, man. Like Boston, the Lakers, they have some down years, but they always bounce right back into the thick of things. That's when you got good management. Yeah. Now, Boston has been deeply invested in boxing since the early 20th century. From 1902, to 1908, the small town of Chelsea that borders Boston became the mecca for boxing, as the sport was banned throughout most of America. Okay, but Chelsea had a special ordinance that legalized boxing, right? While it was banned most other places, yeah, it was legal in Chelsea. Trump in the building. What's up, Trump? How are you today? Trump, I did a little thing on Murderous Road yesterday. Remember you mentioned it, I think it was Monday. Did a little brief thing on it at the end of the, we talked about softball. Did a little brief thing on Murderous Road, yeah. Since you had mentioned it, yeah. But, Chelsea had a special ordinance that legalized boxing there, right? And it was during this time that Jack Johnson, right? During this time that Jack Johnson was faced with what he admitted was the toughest fight of his career, right? When he defended his heavyweight title against Sam Langford. That's Sam. It is Jack. Couldn't find one of them together. It's Sam. Jack said it was the toughest fight of his career when he defended his heavyweight title against Sam Langford on April 6, 1906. Now, Johnson won by a 15-round unanimous decision. And guess what? He refused to ever fight Langford again after that. Jack said, no. I'm not getting in there with Sam no more. That was hard. Okay. And admitted it was the toughest fight of his career. Yeah, right there in Boston. Now, in addition, Fenway Park, the famed home of the Boston Red Sox, hosted 29 professional boxing cards between 1919 and 1956. And beyond just hosting big fights, Boston has also produced a slew of Hall of Fame talents who were either born in Massachusetts or called to stay home, right? They wasn't born, like Marvin Hagler. He wasn't born in Massachusetts, but he made it his home. And they had a whole lot of similar fighters that did that. Yeah, Massachusetts. You know, today, boxing in the States, Massachusetts. Now, noteworthy names include Roxbury heavyweight champions, John L. Sullivan, Brockton heavyweight, Rocky Marciano, and Brockton resident and middleweight champion, marvelous Marvin Hagler, right? Boston's own featherweight champions, Sandy Sadler and George Dixon. Plus, Boston promoter Rip Valentin, V-A-L-E-N-T-I, Rip Valentin. Valenti, I don't know. Wait a minute. There I go. This guy right here. Damn it. Rip L-E-N-T-I. It's Valenti? Rip Valenti. That's what it is, right? Right, Bell and the Queen? Rip Valenti. Damn. What did I think of that? Ain't that it? He was a promoter up there in Boston. Crush the legend. What's up, Crush? From the coffee and donut crew at 6:30. Crush the legend. He hands it off to Jay Hardcore with the bacon and the eggs. And then at 2, Cash Sports with the oodles and noodles and the hot dogs. Right? But salute, Crush. How are you today? Good to see you. Great job in the morning, by the way. That's a joint TWT JBT venture. 6:30 every morning. Fire boxing talk early in the morning. And I would be up that time going to work, so still wake up that time. And it's perfect because the legend is on. Yeah, I hope that body clock never changes. So I don't want to miss that. But salute, Crush. But Sandy Sadler from Boston, George Dixon, plus the promoter, Rip, what did I say his name was? Valenti? Yeah, Rip Valenti, have all been enshrined in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. That's the big one. The International, yeah. Now, fighting in Boston was a great experience, said John Ruiz, a 2-time heavyweight world champion from Chelsea, Massachusetts. Like any sport, this is Ruiz talking, like any sport, Boston sports fans are true fans who follow your progress. I can feel the emotion wherever I fought. I will never forget them. I fought in Las Vegas a lot, and there were always Boston fans there supporting me. I always appreciated them traveling all over the country to my fights. Yeah, Boston fans will travel too, man. I go to an Orioles game in the summer playing Boston. It's damn near more Red Sox fans than Orioles fans, man. You see them Boston Red Sox hats take over downtown Baltimore when the Red Sox down here in Baltimore, man. Yeah. Like, damn. I thought I was in Baltimore. Almost making a home game for the Red Sox in our stadium, man. Yeah. Yeah, the Boston fans are loyal. They will travel, like John Ruiz said. Yep. And a father-son duo from Arlington, Massachusetts, both had an impact on the heavyweight landscape decades after each other. Tom McNeely fought heavyweight world champion Floyd Patterson in 1961 and dropped the champion before eventually succumbing to a 4th-round knockout. Yeah, Tom McNeely dropped Floyd. Yeah, his son also was a fighter, right? Yeah, the father dropped Floyd Patterson, 61. Over 30 years later, his son, Peter, remember Peter McNeely? He was Mike Tyson's first fight when he came out of prison. His father was a fighter too. Dropped Floyd Patterson. Over 30 years later, Tom's son Peter was the first man to fight Mike Tyson after he was released from prison. There I go again, getting it. Okay. Yeah, but I already told you that. Yeah, Peter was the first one to fight Mike when he was released from prison, with the fight ending in McNeely being disqualified. And guess what? That fight is top 10 pay-per-view all time. Yeah. Mike Tyson, Peter McNeely, top 10 pay-per-view. Yeah. And one of the more unique athletes to come out of Boston, Dr. Robert Skeeter McClure, was an Olympic gold medalist, a doctor of psychology, and a Massachusetts boxing commissioner. Now, while at the 1960 Olympics, Dr. McClure served as the co-captain for Team USA, and he was a roommate of fellow gold medalist. You know where I'm going, right? Dr. McClure was a roommate of fellow gold medalist Cassius Clay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And while Dr. McClure never reached his potential as a professional, he received opportunities against world-class opponents, Luis Manuel Rodriguez twice, and Jose Torres, losing all three by decision, right? He went the distance with him. He also lost the decision and fought to a draw against Reuben Hurricane Carter, right? Yeah, Reuben ended up going to prison, or he would have been somebody that we talk about on a daily basis. He would be in my shows when I'm talking about these legends. If his career had been cut short by his prison sentence, Reuben Hurricane Carter, yeah. Dr. McClure fought him. Now, after McClure's professional boxing career, he served as a Massachusetts boxing commissioner before eventually retiring in the Boston area, where he resides to this day. Told you, Boston got a huge boxing history, man. Boston, Massachusetts. Another greatly revered fighter to come out of the Boston area is Lowell's, Lowells, Mickey Ward. Mickey Ward, that's a big one there. Yeah, Mickey. Okay. Yeah, hugely popular for his exciting style, Ward compiled the record of 38-13 professionally with 27 knockouts. He was most known, everybody knows what he's most known for. The 3 epic fight series with winning with his battles with the late Arturo Gatti, right? And guess what? All 3 of those fights won Fight of the Year. Now, those were some bad fights. The same person. Now, Ward's life and career was portrayed in the award-winning film, The Fighter, which starred Mark Wahlberg as Ward. Yeah, that was a great movie there. Yeah, you want to see a good boxing movie? Yeah, The Fighter, about Mickey Ward. Mark Wahlberg played him. Yeah, and Mark Wahlberg is from Massachusetts too, I believe, right? Now, Mickey Ward said, "It was great fighting in Boston. The fans were very supportive and knowledgeable about the sport. It was like I was fighting at home. It was home for me as a fighter. Fans traveled a lot to my fights too. They were a little crazy, drank a lot of beer, and was more vocal than most places I ever fought. I loved it." Mickey Ward said he loved it, right? Fighting up there in Boston. Yeah. But history of boxing, that was Boston there, right? Okay. Now, let's look at the other place, Lowell, Lowell. Lowell, whatever. Lowell, I'm gonna call it Lowell. But it has everybody today. We boxing in the States, Massachusetts. Okay. We're gonna talk about Lowell, Massachusetts now. In case you don't know where I'm talking about. I like writing stuff in the chat. I'm a member of my own chat. I'm in the chat too. I'm doing the live and I'm in the chat. See? Okay. Man, that breeze feels good coming through that window. Wow, this has been some beautiful weather. But yeah, I didn't even read the intro. Damn. Let me read the intro now. Now, Massachusetts has a rich history of boxing, including notable boxers, boxing events, and boxing clubs. Brockton, known as the City of Champions, due to the success of boxers Rocky Marciano and Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Marciano was the world heavyweight boxing champion from 1952 to 1956 and is the only undefeated champion to retire, only undefeated heavyweight champion to retire undefeated. Now, the Lowell Sun Charities Golden Gloves has been a staple in Lowell for over 78 years, and many notable boxers got their start there, including Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, and Mickey Ward. Yep. Boston. I was supposed to read this before I did that. Boston was known for producing champion boxers, including John L. Sullivan and Tony DeMarco. The old Boston Garden featured a world championship fight in 1928, and local boxers like Arthur Diamond, what's his name? Sam Langford, and Harvard. The Harvard Boxing Club was established in 1858 at the Delta on Cambridge Street and Broadway. Lawrence, the Queen City of Massachusetts exhibit at the Pizza King in Lawrence focused on the early years of the boxing in the city, from 1900 through the mid-1930s. Some notable boxers from Lawrence include George the Marine LeBlanc and Tommy Corcoran. Okay, now let's look at Lowell, Massachusetts. Okay, got my wall off today. I was supposed to read that before I even started, but we got it in. Okay, we're gonna talk about Joe Lewis's fights up there too. What time? Yeah, I'm not gonna do that yet. We're gonna look at Lowell, Massachusetts now. Okay. All right, let me get this up. Everybody okay today? Bella and Queen is in here now. All the regulars. They box with me every day. Here with me for a minute. I just need about 2 minutes. That's why we gotta hurry up and get another raffle so I can be playing the commercial during these times. You know what I mean? I used to be playing the commercial there, but I used to go to the bathroom and everything. So come on, we gotta hurry up. That commercial bailed me out of a lot of stuff. But we got supposed to have something coming up soon. Don't worry. And remember, you don't have to play to win. You got to play a lot to win. Just remember what Michael Garner did. Michael Garner had 7 block of 25s, 21 chances, and he won 2 of the 3 prizes. Yep. Lowell, Massachusetts. A lot of boxers that had great professional careers got their starts up there in Lowell. Yep. Sugar Ray Leonard. What's the marvelous one? Hagler. Okay, here we go. We're going to talk about Lowell, Massachusetts. Another big boxing city. Okay, now, the names of professional boxers who competed in Lowell, Massachusetts as amateurs read like a who's who of boxing greats. Yep, they sure do. Lowell is proudly known more for its amateur boxers than for its professionals. Lowell has the annual Golden Glove tournament and twice hosted the Nationals in 1973 and 1995, right? Brockton was home to former world heavyweight champion Rocky Marciano and former world middleweight champion Marvelous Marvin Hagler, both of whom actually competed in Lowell during their amateur careers. Mike Tyson also boxed as an amateur there. So did Sugar Ray Leonard. See what I mean? Lowell, of course, has produced Dickie Eklund and Irish Mickey Ward. In addition, it also lays claim to David Romallo, Bo James, Larry Carney, Paul Fritchett, Billy Ryan, Finney Boyle, Danny Heath, Al Mello, Jackie Morrell, Manny Freitas, Don Halpin, and Ray Andrews. And let's not forget the Roach brothers, Freddie, Pepper, and Joey from nearby Denton, who developed a big following in this tournament. Yep, Freddie Roach. Yep, Massachusetts. He's in the boxes when I get to the boxes for Massachusetts segment. Yep, Freddie Roach. Now, this blue-collar town has a great boxing tradition dating back some 71 years ago. A Golden Glove show in Lowell features certain electricity in the air. Fans get a certain charge, right? Now, more to the point is this quote from Arthur Ramalho. He says, "There's nothing else like fighting in the auditorium. The noise alone can be intimidating if a kid isn't used to it. That's what's so great about fighting there. The fans get involved, they're knowledgeable and passionate. They're as much a part of the show as the boxers. It doesn't matter whether the kid is from Lowell or not. If they don't feel the judges got the decision right, they'll let you know about it." And sometimes things get out of hand, okay? A case in point was the February 1988 Golden Glove 165-pound final between two top amateurs, future title contender George DeGrandis and John Scully. Now, DeGrandis was out of South Boston, but boxed out of Lowell. Scully, nicknamed the Iceman, hailed from Hartford, Connecticut, and was runner-up, national champion in 1987, right? The year before, okay? Today, he's an outstanding trainer. Now, as a Boston area resident for 17 years, wait a minute. Now, he was wanting to talk about that fight between Scully and now early in the fight, the bull liked DeGrandis nicknamed D-Train because he grew up in South Boston's notorious D Street housing project. He frustrated the more technically skilled Scully by using his shoulders in an in-close swarming attack. But late in the first round, John came to life and landed a head-snapping right uppercut that slowed D-Train down considerably. And this allowed Scully to land several heavy punches in combinations and seize the momentum. Now, DeGrandis had been warned 2 or 3 times by referee Ed Fitzgerald for using his right arm to hold. But Scully also was warned. Now, Iceman recalls, when the bell sounded, I stopped and turned, and he hit me. He didn't hit me hard, but still he hit me. I wanted to hit him back, but I was able to tell myself, don't do it, right? Don't do anything stupid. After the bell, Fitzgerald warned Joey about something, probably holding or hitting late after the bell. And Joey said something that infuriated Fitzgerald, convincing him to disqualify the rugged South Boston native. And things apparently had been brewing between the two fighters for about 24 hours. And this was a prescription for trouble. The brawl. They ended up having a brawl, okay? All hell then broke loose. DeGrandis went after Scully, and the two resumed fighting. And the referee had called the fight off. It disqualified the Grandis, remember? But this time, they were joined by fans, friends, and relatives, many of whom were skilled boxers. In fact, two brothers engaged in a fight with one another. As the cops entered the ring in force, the brawlers scurried and slid out of the ring. The scene was one of total bedlam, right? Now, as Dennis Whitten of the Loyal Sun reported, fans were punching at cops. Cops were flailing away at fans. Trainers were struck. Stools were being wielded. And the entire scene was disintegrating into bedlam before the police finally restored some semblance of order. Yeah. Someone told Scully, "They're all from South Boston. They'll stab you." As John recalls, "I was kept in the basement for 2 or 3 hours after the fight. Finally, we went out the back door with some cops and turned the corner, and a couple of guys came running at us. I thought it was the South Boston guys, but it turned out to be reporters." He thought they was coming to get him. It was reporters. Yeah, that was wild. Okay. Now let's go to Joe Louis. Joe Louis had a couple fights up there too. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty interesting. Yeah, that was a serious brawl right there, though. Let's take a look at Joe Louis's fights up there in Boston, Massachusetts. He had one official championship fight there, but then he had 2 exhibitions. Yeah. He had 2 exhibitions in Massachusetts. I think the championship fight was at the Garden. Yeah, here we go. Okay. The Brown Bomber. There's the Brown Bomber. Now, the greater Boston area has been home to 2 World Heavyweight Championship fights. 2 World Heavyweight Champions, John L. Sullivan and Rocky Marciano. Neither of whom ever defended the title there. In fact, even though boxing has always been popular in Boston, there's only been 1 heavyweight title fight held in Beantown, right? And that was Joe Louis. Let me get my glasses. 1 fight there, that was the Brown Bomber, right? Rocky and John L. Sullivan never defended the belts there. And that 1 fight was the 1940 fight between the great Joe Louis and Al McCoy. Now, interestingly, McCoy was a native of Maine and resided in Waterville, though he fought often in Boston. Now, when it was decided Louis would travel to Boston to defend the championship, there were 2 New England fighters who stood out as the prime challengers to take on the Brown Bomber. One was McCoy, and the other was Tony Shuko, a Boston native, right? Now, nobody is sure why McCoy was picked, but many old-timers said they believed because of his style, Shuko would have been able to give Joe a better fight than McCoy. So they picked McCoy, okay? But nobody's sure about that, but that's what some old-timers thought, right? Now, the fight took place on December 16th, 1940 at the Boston Garden. A crowd of 13,334 showed up to watch as Louis handed out a one-sided drubbing to the very game McCoy. The fight ended when the New England fighter was unable to come out for the 5th round. Okay? Now, the Joe Louis of 1940 was pretty much at his peak and is still thought by many experts to have been the greatest heavyweight champion ever. Now, while McCoy was never a threat, Boston fans did get to see the champ in action. Nobody complained at the outcome. It was a foregone conclusion, right? So that was the only time Joe Louis would be seen in Boston, in a Boston boxing ring. Or was it? Well, no, it wasn't. Now, Joe never again defended the title in Boston, but he did return for a couple of exciting appearances a few years later. His second and third visits turned out to be more exciting than his fight against McCoy, the championship fight. Now, for even though these fights were labeled exhibitions, they were in fact hard-fought battles. The second fight in particular, in June of 1948, Joe Louis had his last fight as champion when he KO'd Jersey Joe Walcott in the 11th round. 7 months earlier, Walcott had given Louis all he could handle for 15 rounds while losing a decision. Many believed Walcott deserved to win. Walcott actually said Joe told him in the ring that he had won it. Joe denied it, but that's what Joe Louis denied. He said that, but Jersey Joe Walcott claimed that Joe Louis admitted that he won, that Jersey Joe beat him. Ray Patterson in the building, straight out of New Jersey. What's up, RP? How are you today? We're talking about boxing in Massachusetts. Talking about a couple of fights Joe Louis had up there. He had one official championship fight there, but he did fight 2 exhibitions, against the same guy. And they said the exhibition was better than the championship fight. Yeah. Let me take a drink. Yeah, they said the exhibition was better than the championship fight. He stopped the guy in the championship fight, and the guy couldn't come out for the 4th round. But let's see. Okay. Now, he fought Jersey Joe again, and he knocked him out in the second fight. Now, most people thought that Joe would retire after the second Jersey Joe fight, and Joe Louis wanted to retire, but he was facing financial difficulties, right, stemming from tax problems he was having with the IRS. So instead of calling it quits, he went on a barnstorming tour of exhibitions where he figured he could pick up some easy money. Now, still being champion made him more marketable, okay? He was champion, but he classified these fights as exhibitions. Okay, excuse me. Now, okay, Ken Saul Love 1 is back in the building. What's up, Ken Saul Love 1? How are you today? Good to see you again. Okay. Yeah, we're going to talk about these couple exhibitions, and then we're going to talk about some boxers from Massachusetts. Okay. Yeah, it'll be time for the boxers from Massachusetts. Man, I don't even know what's next week. Anybody know what's after Massachusetts and alphabet? Now, on 2 occasions during his tour, Louis stopped in Boston. His opponent in both fights was tough contender Johnny Score. Yep. Now, Score was a hard-punching 6'4" battler who weighed in at around 220 pounds for many of his fights. He was originally from Baltimore, but fought out of Boston, where he was managed by Johnny Buckley. Now, Score had a career final record of 52 fights, 31 wins, 19 losses, and 2 draws. 22 of his wins came by knockout. Now, his biggest win was a 1947 stoppage on cuts of Tammy Moriello, which took place at the Boston Arena. Now, Score would also go on to face 2 future champions, Jersey Joe Walcott and Rocky Marciano. Now, the first encounter between Louis and Score took place at the Boston Arena on November 8th, 1948, before 5,518 fans. Now, according to the Boston Globe sports writer Cliff King, it was a very spirited affair. And even though they fought with 14-ounce gloves, King wrote, there was more action in the 4 rounds than in Louis's 2 title fights with Jersey Joe Walcott. Wow. Now late, and that was like 20-something rounds, 15 in one, and like 7 in the other one. Now late in the 4th round, Lewis received a gash over his right eye from a clash of heads as Score waded into him. Former champ Jack Sharkey worked Score's corner, and former welterweight champion Jack Britton was the referee, right? Now, a year and a week later, the two would go at it again, this time at the Boston Garden. And at this point, Joe Louis had announced his retirement. And though he denied it, it was said he was testing the waters for another title shot, right? Against the new champion, Ezzard Charles. Now, the second fight between Louis and Score was scheduled for 10 rounds. And again, they wore 14-ounce gloves. Before 8,471 fans, they picked up right where they left off at. Louis came out strong and dropped Score 3 times in the first 3 rounds, once in the second and twice in the third. Now, it appeared the fight wouldn't go further than the 4 rounds the two went the first time, but Score proved tough and durable, while Louis was not in top condition. And the former champ coasted a bit, but still had to keep Score in his place, as the former sailor was not giving up easy, right? Again, the fans got more than their money's worth. Louis had nothing but praise for Score after the fight, telling reporters Johnny had improved since the first fight and should be taken seriously as a contender, by the top level professional. Now, while Joe kept denying he was heading for a comeback, 10 months later, he was in the ring with champion Ezzard Charles in what was a brutal 15-round battle won by the Cincinnati Cobra, Ezzard Charles. Louis continued to fight after that, but never fought for the title again. 9 fights later, he would be KO'd by Rocky Marciano in a non-title affair. And this fight is still painful to watch. The great champion stayed too long. But Boston fans were lucky in 1948 and 1949 to see the great Joe Louis in action, especially since he was in with a guy like Johnny Score, who gave his all. Yep. And then let's talk about some fighters from Massachusetts, a bunch of them. I got about 25 of them. Oh, wait a minute. Let's talk about the Hartford Boxing Club first. Okay. The Hartford Boxing Club. Okay. Big time historical boxing club up there in Boston. If I can find it. I wrote this one out though. Handwriting might be a little bad, but it's okay. Does anybody come in here? All right. Let's make that. Now it got cold in here again. Hot, cold. Okay. The Hartford Boxing Club. Okay. Appreciate everybody in the building today. Now, the Hartford Boxing Club is a co-ed sports club at Hartford College in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And the club has a long history, right? Founded in the late 1850s, okay? The club has a long history and is considered one of the most significant boxing programs in the country, right? Not just in Massachusetts, in the country. Alumni include, check this out, President John Fitzgerald Kennedy and President Theodore Roosevelt, both who were boxers. Mm-hmm. John Kennedy and Theodore Roosevelt were boxers. And the club had several dozen members, including undergraduates and graduates. Membership benefits include access to experts, events, and resources, right? Now, practices. The club practices 2 hours a day, 6 days a week. Skill days are led by the coach, and conditioning days are led by the captains, okay? And the club is managed by an undergraduate president and 4 undergraduate captains, with support from graduates and alumni advisors, right? And the current head coach is Joe Lake, a former title holder, amateur, right? Title holder, amateur fighter. Okay. Yeah, Joe Lake, former amateur champion. And the club hosts an annual exhibition each year, an annual exhibition night. Okay. And the mission of the club's mission is to be part of a vibrant community and make an impact on the campus community. Be a part of a vibrant community and make an impact on the campus community. That's the club's mission. Now we talk about some boxers from Massachusetts. Okay? Got about 25 of them. It's going to take us on out to Just Do Boxing. Okay? Boxing in Massachusetts. What's next week? Let me see real quick. I don't know. Did I drop my phone? Where is it, man? There it is. That's after Massachusetts. Does anyone know? I got to go to that thing called Google real quick. I think we're going, is it Nebraska? Until we get finished with boxing in the States, it's going to be boxing around the world. Going to go by each country, talk about some history and some boxers from that country. Okay, here we go. Michigan. Oh, yeah. Next week is going to be good. Michigan. All right. Looking forward to that. Next week is boxing in history of boxing in Michigan and other significant events. Okay? Yeah. That is going to be good. I'm very unorganized right here. Right now. Oh, man. Excuse me for a minute. And did I write it down? I don't believe I did, but I'll find it. I can't believe I didn't write that. That messes up everything. Oh, yes, I did. There it is right there. It's on the next page. I would have had to end the show right there if I didn't have this. They had to end early. But this is going to be good. This segment of Boxers from Massachusetts is going to be very good. Give me like 30 seconds. Okay? About 30 seconds. 20 now. How's everybody's day going? In the JBT, we're trying to bring you Fire Boxing Talk all day. I think Just Do is coming on today. He hasn't been in here yet. Might be listening. Him and Mrs. Do. He might be one of them big plates Mrs. Do be hooking up on. Here we go. Okay. Boxers from Massachusetts. Okay. Now, Boston is home to clam chowder, cream pie, lager, baked beans, and boxing, right? My big finger's always hitting something. I done cut the chat off. I got to get that back. Got to see what's happening. Okay, it's back. And Jarrell Hattie came in. What's up, Jarrell Hattie? How are you today? Jaw. That's Jaw. Short for Jarrell Hattie. Salute. Good to see you, Jarrell. That young man always hitting the link and coming up helping me out at the end. But yeah, Boston, baked beans and boxing. The Northeast Center rose to prominence as a boxing hub way back in the late 1800s, and has since birthed some of the ring's greats in the sport's earliest days. Boston boxers practiced prize fighting or bare knuckle boxing, and it was during this period that boxing shifted from an illegal and dangerous pastime to one that the masses adored. The rise to boxing city legend wasn't easy for Boston, but some of the earliest Beantown boxers were mobsters, gangsters, and cheats, according to historian Kevin Smith, right? But we're going to talk about some of the legends who left their legacy on the sport in a positive way now, okay? First is the Boston Strong Boy. There's the Boston Strong Boy. John L. Sullivan. Okay? They called him the Boston Strong Boy. Now, John L. Sullivan, the Boston Strong Boy, hailed from Roxbury, Massachusetts, a neighborhood within the city. From Roxbury, a neighborhood within the city, okay? Now, the Irish-American boxer became one of the earliest glove boxing champions. In fact, he's recognized as the very first heavyweight champion of the glove era and the last of the bare knuckles era, okay? Sullivan's tenure marks a transition in Boston boxing from bare knuckles to glove boxing. Yep. Last bare knuckles champion, first glove champion. Yep. As he was also the last heavyweight champ of bare knuckles boxing and the first of the glove era. I just follow the script. I keep telling this stuff and then I read it. But anyway, Sullivan held the title of heavyweight champion from 1882 to 1892. He had a 10-year reign. John L. did. Okay. Yeah, John L. had a 10-year reign. Okay. Next is didn't get his record, but I can get it. Let me get John L.'s record for you. That's important. I think it is. You know, it was something I didn't do when I was preparing the record. I need like 3 phones. I got 2 working and a laptop and still ain't enough. Damn. Oh, wait a minute. Man, I am so stupid. There's the records right there on the paper. I did write it down. Come on, Cass. You got to do better than this, man. I'm getting ready to Google it, holding y'all up in the records right there on the paper, man. Cass, I wrote it down. Now, John L. had a total of 46 fights, right? He won 42, lost 1, had 3 draws, 32 knockouts from Boston. I did write the records down, okay? Next is George Little Chocolate Dixon. There's Little Chocolate, okay? Tell you this first. Little Chocolate had 165 fights, right? He won 74. He lost 30. Get this. He had 55 draws, 6 no contests, 36 knockouts. Remember I was telling you the other day, a lot of black fighters had a lot of draws because sometimes they would win, but they would refuse to give them the win, so they would just call. And it was just too ridiculous to call it. They won so widely, it was too ridiculous to call it a loss. So they would just give him a draw. You know, this man did not have no 55 draws, really. Yeah, but that's what it's on his record, 55 draws. And, that's not for sure his record because, they wasn't really keeping records too good back in those days. But, that's what they have on 165 fights. Okay. Known for his small stature, Canadian boxer George Dixon delighted prize fighting fans in the late 1800s. Dixon was the first black world boxing champion in any weight class, earning a bantamweight championship title on May 10, 1888. In fact, he was the first black person to win a championship in any sport. Okay? Any sport. Just happened to be boxing. Now, boxing fans can visit Dixon's grave at Mount Hope Cemetery in Boston. Okay? George Little Chocolate Dixon. Next is Barbados Joe Walcott. That's who Jersey Joe got the name from. Okay, Jersey Joe, because he took it from Barbados Joe Walcott. Okay. Now, nickname, Barbados Joe's record, right? He won 96. He lost 31. And see, he had 27 draws, right? 57 knockout. Okay. It's like 154 fights. 96 and 31 is 127, right? 27. Yeah, 154 fights, okay? Barbados Joe Walcott. Nicknamed the Barbados Demon, Barbadian boxer Joe Walcott claimed the World Welterweight Championship title for 5 years, from 1901 to 1906. After getting a job on a sailing vessel that landed in Boston, Walcott made Beantown his home and trained in a local gym before eventually becoming professional champion, right? Contemporary boxer Jersey Joe Walcott took his stage name from his boxing hero. I said that already. Barbados Joe Walcott, right? I'm going to just stop talk and just read. I'm not even going to go off script because he's saying the stuff and then reading it. But anyway, next is it was William Melody. William Melody. There's William Melody. William Honey Melody. That was his nickname. Damn, that's as bad as Sugar. Nickname Honey. Damn. A boxer. Wow. Just Do Boxing in the building. Damn, I spoke you up, Just Do Boxing. I was just talking about Just Do Boxing, wasn't I? He wasn't in here yet, and he came in. Maybe if I say like 100 people's names, they all coming in. I get like 100 likes. But salute Just Do Boxing, coming up at 4 p.m. Some fire boxing talk, okay? Boxers from Massachusetts right now, just. Okay, William Honey Melody. Did I change it? Who was last? Barbados Joe. Yeah, okay. There's William Honey Melody right there. Now, William Honey Melody is from Charlestown, okay, Massachusetts. And William Honey won 96. He lost 31. He had 27 draws. No, that's Barbados Joe. I'm sorry. William Honey won 51, lost 33, had 23 draws, and 30 knockouts, right? That's like 77 fights. No, 97. 97 fights for William Honey. Born in Charlestown, Massachusetts in 1884, William Melody made a mark on Boston's boxing scene early on. He fought throughout the Boston area before turning professional and notably sparred with Irish boxer Martin Connolly at the Bowdoin Square Athletic Club in Boston in 1902. Melody claimed the World White Championship in 1904 and the World Welterweight Championship against Joe Walcott, Barbados Joe, shortly thereafter. William Honey Melody, okay? We're gonna talk about Sam again. I don't know about this name, man. Sam the Boston Tar Baby Langford. Come on, Sam. Could have come up with something better than that, man. That was his nickname, Sam the Boston, one of them. Sam the Boston Tar Baby Langford. Now, Sam had 314 fights. That's unofficially, because I told you they didn't keep records too good back then. But he had at least 314, okay? Probably more. Because they didn't keep the records good and always on the low end. Usually they had more than what the records say. So 314 unofficially, probably more. Okay? And he won 210. He lost 43. 53 draws. A lot of them were probably wins, 8 no contests. And get this, 126 knockouts. Okay? Sam Langford. Now, otherwise known as the Boston Terror, and that's what I would have used, the Boston Terror. Or the Boston Bone Crusher. Now, those are good. Boston Bone Crusher. Sam Langford undoubtedly earned his place as one of Boston's most legendary boxers. Born in Nova Scotia, Langford relocated to Boston to face some of the best boxers in the world. Now, interestingly, Langford claimed titles across many weight classes, from lightweight to heavyweight, defeating many world champions. Among his wins are the World Heavyweight Championship and the World Colored Heavyweight title. And he fought Jack Johnson for the heavyweight title. Jack Johnson won, but Jack Johnson said that was the toughest fight ever. And Jack Johnson admitted publicly that he would never fight Sam Langford again. Yep. Next is Jack Sharkey. Jack Sharkey, boxers from Massachusetts. Here's Jack Sharkey. No, I went backwards. There's Jack. There's Jack. Technique in the building. Technique says the Irish and Irish Americans can fight. You can say that again, Technique. No doubt. Tough fighters, man. Yeah. Irish Mickey Ward, remember? Yeah. 3 fights with Arturo Gatti. 3 fights of the year awards. The salute, Technique. Good to see you again, bro. Okay. Jack, the Boston Garb Sharkey. Now, Jack's record was Jack had 55 total fights. He won 38, lost 14. He had 3 draws and 13 knockouts. So I guess we can safely say Jack wasn't a power guy. 13 knockouts. Okay. And we got a good show coming up Tuesday, too. It's going to be speed versus power. Okay. We're going to discuss the advantages of speed and the advantages of power. Is one better than the other? And then we're going to look at like 10 or 12 of the fastest guys in boxing history and 10 or 12 of the most powerful guys in boxing history. That's Tuesday. Don't miss it. Okay. Got a big week coming up next week, as usual. Jack, the Boston Garb Sharkey. Now, one-time fisherman from Binghamton, Sharkey moved to Boston as a young man, and he learned to box during his time in the Navy and started fighting professionally after being honorably discharged. Now, during his professional career, Sharkey nabbed 38 wins, I said that, right? Including the World Heavyweight Championship title, okay? Jack the Garb Sharkey. The next is one of my favorites, man. One of my top 5 right here. Y'all know who it is. From Brockton, Massachusetts. There he is. The Rock. Only heavyweight champion to retire undefeated. And they got this nonsense about he was fighting guys past their prime. Now, Jersey Joe Walcott was 38 when Rock fought him. But guess what else he was? Jersey Joe Walcott was a world heavyweight champion. There wasn't nobody else beating him. So you can't say he was past. Everybody was past their prime if the world heavyweight champion past their prime. Archie Moore. Everybody say Archie Moore was over when the Rock fought him. But after the Rock fought him, Archie Moore had 30 more fights and only lost 1. Okay. Joe Louis was on an 8-fight winning streak when Rocky fought him. He was the number 1 contender. Okay, so no. People should stop that. This man earned everything he got. Only heavyweight champion to retire undefeated. The Rock. Yeah, 49-0, 43 knockouts. I think it was like an 87% knockout rate from Brockton, Massachusetts. Okay. Now, you got to mention Rocky, right? When you talk about Boston fight legends, period, right? Now, born in Brockton, Massachusetts, right? 25 miles south of Boston in 1923. Besides The Rock, he was also called the Brockton Blockbuster. The Brockton Blockbuster. You got to say that slow. The Brockton Blockbuster. He cut his teeth against some of the Bay State's greatest boxers. Marciano became the only heavyweight champion to retire with an undefeated record, and still is, right? And was later immortalized by Sylvester Stallone in the classic Rocky movie series. Okay? This is unbelievable, man. Rocky Marciano and this man is from the same place. Well, Marvin is from New Jersey, but his boxing career, he was in Brockton, Massachusetts, same place where Rocky came up at. Marvelous Marvin Hagler. And that's why when I say Hagler, I always say Marvelous Marvin Hagler, because that is his name. He changed his name to Marvelous Marvin Hagler because he said the commentators and reporters and stuff for some reason wouldn't call him Marvelous. So he made that officially his name, right? Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Now, Marvelous had you at Marvin? There he is. He won 62. He had 67 total fights. He won 62. He lost 3, 2 draws, 52 knockouts. And really, he won 63 and lost 2 because Sugar Ray Leonard did not beat him. Okay? That was one of the biggest robberies in history. And then Sugar Ray ducked him. Remember? Hagler waited 14 months. Sugar Ray said he was retired. Hagler retired. Sugar Ray came back 1 month later. That's the textbook definition of a duck, right? Contemporary boxer Marvin Hagler has his prize-fighting predecessors to thank for his success, like Rocky. Hagler hails from Brockton, who had the distinct advantage of training at a local gym under legendary boxing manager Goody Petronelli. And all the 4 kings had legendary trainers, and Hagler's trainer, Goody Petronelli, is very underrated, man. You always hear about Duran's trainer, Ray Arcel, Hearn's trainer, Emanuel Stewart, Sugar Ray's trainer, Angelo Dundee. Goody Petronelli is right up there with all of them, man. Just as legendary, but you don't never hear about him. But Hagler had a legendary trainer too, Goody Petronelli, and his brother, okay? But you never hear about them. But they should be spoken of just like Dundee, Emanuel Stewart, and Ray Arcel. All the 4 kings had legendary trainers. During his career, Hagler earned the title as the undisputed middleweight champion during the 1980s. He earned 12 championship wins during that span and still holds the highest knockout percentage of all middleweight champions. Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Okay? Say it again. Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Okay? Okay, we got some more. It's going to take us on to the bridge. James Brown said, take us to the bridge. Okay? Who's next? I got to take a drink first. Is that okay? But I appreciate everybody for rocking with me. Hope you're enjoying this show. You know, like I always say, you could be anywhere doing anything, but you here listen to Cast Sports, and I appreciate it. You know, 1,000%. No, 1,000,000%. And what state is this again? Massachusetts, yeah. Boxers from Massachusetts. Here we go. Next is Paul Pender. Wait a minute. Now, oh yeah, Paul Pender. Yes. Stay with me for a minute, please. I forgot about that. Paul Pender. And put Paul up there. That's Paul. Paul Pender. Hope everybody's enjoying the show today. And do I have a big week for you next week? Wow, that's going to be huge. Still need some shows for Wednesday, though. I'd like to take a show from somebody's idea, give me one in the chat, And Trump, if you're still here, I did do a little bit on Murderers Row yesterday. You had mentioned it Monday. A brief little thing on the Murderers Row guys yesterday. Because the show was on Southpaws, but I touched on the Murderers Row group since you mentioned it. I aim to please. Appreciate everybody coming in, and somebody requests something, I'm going to do it, even if I did it before. Okay. So if you got any kind of historical shows you would like to see or profiles, put it in the chat. Is it in there yet? I don't see it. Okay, Paul Pender. Come on, Paul. I'm jumping around today. I used to be a little bit more organized, but Paul Pender. There's Paul Pender. Paul Pender, right. Now Paul had 48 fights during his career. He won 40, he lost 6, he had 2 draws, 20 knockouts. What's that, like 50%? He knocked out half of the guys. Half his wins were knockouts, okay? And he hailed from the ritzy Boston suburb of Brooklyn. We got a Brooklyn in Baltimore too. And guess what? Guess who else was born in Brooklyn? Brookline, Boston suburb of Brookline. John F. Kennedy, another boxer. He was also president of the United States, but John F. Kennedy boxed too. What was the other one I said? Theodore Roosevelt was a boxer too. Members of the Hartford Boxing Club we talked about a moment ago. Now, Paul was a solid fighter whose brittle hands unfortunately prevented him from ever becoming the dominant pugilist he surely otherwise would have become. Yeah, his hands prevented him from being the best he could have been. But nonetheless, Pender beat the brilliant Sugar Ray Robinson, right? Not once, twice. Beat Sugar Ray Robinson twice, okay? So that told you what Paul could have been, but his hands, kind of cut him short there. But Pender emerged victorious over Robinson both times by split decision at the Boston Garden in January and June 1960, respectively. Yep, like 6 months apart. If a fighter can beat the spectacular Sugar Ray Robinson once, let alone twice, he's a great fighter in my book. Okay? Next is John Ruiz. Y'all remember John Ruiz? There's John on the right. That's Big John on the right there, see him? Yeah. John, the quiet man Ruiz. Okay, but he wasn't quiet in that ring when he got to whipping on somebody's ass in there. John, the quiet man Ruiz. Now, John had 55 fights. He won 44. He lost 9. He had 1 draw, and he had 1 no contest. 30 wins came by knockout. He was born in Methuen, Methuen. I told y'all, I'm in the chat too. I'm the host of the show and I'm in the chat. I don't know. I can't pronounce too many words. I shouldn't have been cutting class and stuff, and them other kids was in there learning. But that is it. Methuen. I think that's it. God damn. I can't even type it. I can't pronounce it. There it is right there. Let me see. Is that it? Yeah. There it is. Methuen, right? Methuen, Massachusetts, I guess. But that's where he's from. And he is widely regarded as the first Latino heavyweight champion, right? Ruiz, a Puerto Rican who twice captured the WBA crown, was an unpopular fighter due to his boring clinch and grab defensive tactics. Still, he beat 3 world champions. Evander Holyfield, Hasim Rahman, and Tony Tucker. And that demands respect and admiration for John, man. Evander Holyfield, Hasim Rahman, and Tony Tucker. Big John beat all three of them. The Quiet Man. Okay. Yep. Got a couple more. This is going to take us on out. Okay. Boxers from Massachusetts. After John Ruiz is Sal Bartolo. I don't know. But Sal, Bartolo. Okay, Sal is next. Let's take a look at Sal. Okay. Now, his real name is Salvatore. I don't even know why I started this. Salvatore Interbartolo, right? He shortened it to Bartolo, right? I would shorten that too. Salvatore Interbartolo, right? Now, he was the WBA featherweight champion from March 1944 through May 1946, had it for 2 years. At the time, Bartolo's title was sanctioned by the National Boxing Association, the ONBA, which became the WBA. Remember? Told you that many times. From Boston, Massachusetts. Became the WBA because, went from national, because boxing was becoming so international at that time. It went from the NBA, National Boxing Association, to the World Boxing Association, okay? Oh man. Jarrell says, okay, Jarrell. I request best showmanship in boxing includes Sweet Pea, Chris Nassim, Tank, Floyd Ali, and more, please. Okay. Best showmanship in boxing. I'm going to write that down and see what I can do with it. Jarrell, appreciate you. Let me write that down. Best showmanship in boxing from Jarrell Hattie. And he done told me who to talk about, too. That's my main man there, Jarrell. Appreciate you, Jarrell. Best showmanship in boxing. And all those people you said would be included because they were showmen, Jarrell. Great topic. And who you say? I know you said Tank. Tank is me and Jarrell's favorite boxer. That's Jar, by the way. They're always up here on the panel with me. J-A-H. Yeah, that's them. Jarrell Hattie and Jar, one of this thing. Nassim Ahmed. Okay, Mr. Nassim. Tank. Man, I forgot what the hell I was writing that. Oh, there it is. Tank. Mr. Nassim. Ali. And who else? I got you, Jarrell. Might be next Wednesday. Okay. See what I can do with it. Okay, now where were we? Was it Sal Bartolo? Yeah, I done lost my place and everything. Yeah, that's Sal up there now. Right. No, now we passed Sal. Right? John Ruiz. That's Big John. I did Sal. So after Sal comes Nathan Bohr. There's Nathan. I know there's Nathan Bohr because his name up. Yeah. Yeah, Sal was a featherweight champion or somewhere in the lower weights. Yeah. Let's see about Nathan real quick. Okay. Nathan Bohr. Yeah, Nathan is from Fall River, Massachusetts, okay? And he had a total of 49 fights. He won 34. He lost 12, had 3 draws, 22 knockouts, okay? And Nathan won a lightweight bronze medal at the 1932 Summer Olympics. I think that was in LA, right? He continued primarily as a welterweight in the professional rank, right? Until about 1940. And he served as a Marine in World War II before returning to start a dry cleaning business in his hometown of Fall River, Massachusetts. Nathan Bohr, okay, boxers from Massachusetts. Al Booger in the building. I didn't know you was in here, Al Booger. What's happening? It is a great topic. It is a great topic. Let me see. What we got? We got about 10 minutes. Oh yeah, kind of late for the link, so we'll ride it on out with a couple more people. Next is let me get to a good one. Gail Grandchamp. Let's talk about Gail. She was a female fighter from up there. Gail Grand. She was a pioneer. Female fighter, Gail Grandchamp. This is, yeah. Gail, on 16th, April 16th, 1992, after 8 years in court litigation in Massachusetts, Gail gained the right to become a boxer as a state superior court judge deemed it was illegal to deny someone a chance to box based on gender, right? So she was a pioneer female boxer. During her efforts to gain the right to box as an amateur, she passed the age of 36, the maximum age for amateur fighters. She instead pursued a career as a professional. Gail Grandchamp from North Adams, Massachusetts. And she did have oh man. Wow, Gail. She had 7 fights. She won 1 and lost 6. But she was the pioneer, paved the way. So later, Ali, the Gwoat, Katie Taylor, all of them, man. Yeah, Gail Grandchamp stayed in litigation for 6 years fighting for the right for females to get the right to box. Ray Oliveira, remember him? Freddie Roach from Massachusetts. Yeah. Freddie turned into a great trainer, you know. Well, a lot of people say he just had great fighters. I don't know. I give Freddie his props. I can't find Freddie's picture. It was kind of light. I know how to find it. Go through each one of them. Sorry. Oh, there we go. It was kind of like Freddie Roach, though. He's from Massachusetts. Yeah, Freddie. I thought Freddie was a pretty good trainer. Freddie Roach. Freddie, boxing trainer, former professional boxer. He is widely regarded as one of the best boxing trainers of all time. Okay, he is the enduring boxing coach of the 8th division world champion Manny Pacquiao. 5-time and 4th division world champion Miguel Cotto. Former middleweight champion Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. 3-time world champion James Lights Out Toney. Former UFC middleweight and 2-time welterweight boxing champion George LaPierre, as well as top prospects. Well, no, they're not prospects. And he had Jose Benavidez and Peter Quillen too, right? So Freddie has trained some big names. He also trained former light welterweight champion Amir Khan. Yep. And Freddie is from Dedham, Massachusetts, right? And as far as his boxing career, Freddie had 53 fights. He won 40. He lost 13, right? And Freddie had 15 knockouts. You know, Marvin Hagler's brother was a boxer too. His name was Robbie Sims. He wasn't nowhere near but Marvin was. But yeah, I think they had different fathers or something like that. You know how black people do. I'm sorry, my bad. Yeah, Robbie Sims. That's why they had different last names. God damn it. Okay, Robbie Sims. Robbie Sims. There he is. He was a former professional boxer who competed from 1980 to 1996. He had a 16-year career. Most well known to be the half brother of former world middleweight champion, the legendary Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Of course, from Brockton, like Marvin. And Robbie had a total of 50 fights. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He didn't have any titles or anything, though. But might have had some minor ones. None of the majors. But he won 38. Or did he? I don't know. He lost 10. He had 2 draws. Yeah. And 26 knockouts. Yeah. Robbie wasn't that bad. I don't know who he fought, but shit, 26 knockouts, 38 wins. That's like 70, ain't it? Ain't that like 70%? 68. Told you, yeah, 68% knockout rate. So he wasn't that bad. He wasn't Marvin, but he wasn't that bad either. 68% knockout rate, not bad. And that's about it. Ray Oliveira was a pretty good boxer too. Yeah. Yeah, Ray. Let me see if I can find Ray. We'll end it with Ray. Okay. It is. Damn. Ain't that Ray right there? Yeah. That's Ray in the middle. Yeah. He's a name that we all have heard of. Oh man, Ray Oliveira. Yeah. Ray was he went by the nickname Sucre, right? He fought for world titles at both lightweight and welterweight. And he won the International Boxing Union World Welterweight title twice in 2003 and 2004. And Ray is from New Bedford, Massachusetts. Okay. And Ray had 60 total fights, right? 147, lost 11, 2 draws, 22 by knockout. There you have it. Boxing in the States, Massachusetts. Don't miss tomorrow is the life and career of Felix Trinidad, Tito. Okay? Should be good. But I got you next week, Jarrell. Best showmanship in boxing. Okay? Sweet Pea, Prisoner Scene, Tank, Floyd, all of them will be in there. You know that. Anyway. Yeah. So that's next Wednesday. Brought to you by Jarrell Hattie, the best showmanship in boxing. Okay. But I hope everybody enjoyed today's show. I appreciate everybody for coming in today. And we'll have tomorrow, try to get some link time for us. This one took us all the way out. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Jarrell. Yeah, next Wednesday. Because I got a big week lined up for you next week, man. Of course, Fantasy Matchup Mondays is going to be Sonny Liston versus the Legends. And then Tuesday is going to be Speed versus Power. You know, is it best to have speed, best to have power, or best to have both? Right? The advantages of both of them. And we're going to look at like 10 or 12 of the fastest boxers in boxing history and 10 of the 12 power guys, right, next Tuesday. Then, of course, next Wednesday is going to be our show on showmanship, brought to you by Jarrell Hattie, best showmanship in boxing. That's next Wednesday. And Thursday, I checked it. I forgot already what was at the Massachusetts. Damn, I should have wrote it down. Anybody remember? Oh, Michigan. Yeah, next week is going to be big. You know Michigan is going to be big. That big-time Kronk gym up there. All them guys that come out of Michigan. Wee. And let me see something there. I got the profile already set up, too. Give me for a minute. One moment. Man. If if I was y'all, I wouldn't miss a day next week. Ooh-wee. Damn, I'm excited already about next week. After all that other stuff next week, the profile next Friday is going to be. It's going to be. It's Tito this week. Oh my goodness. Next week is off. Guess who the profile going to be next Friday? Sugar Ray Robinson. After all of that stuff, man. We're going to start the week out with fantasy matchup Monday, Sunday listing against the Legends, and we're going to end it with Sugar Ray Robinson, the life and career of Sugar Ray Robinson, and a whole lot in between. We got Jarrell Hattie's best showmanship in boxing, speed versus power, and Michigan. Man, next week might be one of the best weeks ever on Cast Sports. Okay? But we got to finish this one first, okay? So who was in the building today? Let's do that. Then we're going to get on out of here because Just Do coming up. I don't want to miss a second of that. Okay. Al Booger. Technique. Just Do Boxing. Jarrell Hattie. Ken Saw Love 1. Ray Patterson. Wait a minute. Gotta check out something. Okay, good. I didn't. Ray Patterson. Crush the Legend. Trump. Mike Rim, Melanin Queen 27, Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz and more, Terry Akers, that's my favorite sister-in-law, Mike Magic, Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. Okay? Miss Cass ain't even in here. She ain't home and she didn't say nothing. I wasn't supposed to say her name. I'm not supposed to say people's names when they're not in here. Scratch Miss Cass off. The list ends with Mike Magic. Okay? Okay. So hope everybody enjoyed the show today. And tomorrow, the life and career of Fearless Tito Trinidad, right? Don't miss that one. That's going to be good. Okay? But I'll be back tomorrow, right? Because if it's Monday through Friday at 2 p.m., it's the Boxtorian bringing you all that boxing history. Just Do Boxing is straight ahead of us. This is Cast Sports. I appreciate everybody, and everybody have a great day. And I will see you in those JBT streets. Have a good one. Oh shit, I'm not even off yet.